When you upload a dataset from Excel into Power Query, you can filter the dataset in Power Query, but once it's been loaded back into Excel, the only way to change the filter on the uploaded dataset is again to go back into Power Query. Using drill downs, though, you can dynamically filter a Power Query table by changing a value in a cell in Excel that it's linked to. To start, let's take our dataset, which is a list of countries and amounts, and make this into a table by pressing Ctrl-T, making sure my table has headers as ticked and selecting OK. And we're going to name this table countries and upload this into Power Query by selecting from table range. This will open up the Power Query editor. And once that's loaded into Power Query, we can close and load this back into Excel by loading it into a new worksheet as a table. So table, new worksheet, OK. This gives us all of the countries because we've applied no filters in Power Query at this stage. To do that, let's double click on the countries table in Queries and Connections to go back into the Power Query editor. And once we're in there, we can use the filter in our table to select an individual country. And let's select France and hit OK. We can see filtered rows has been added to our applied steps, and all of the countries except for France have been filtered out. And we've also had this automatically generated line of M code, which is basically saying that the selected rows in our table should only show when the country equals France and France has been hard coded. So let's close and load those changes. And once that's done, we should see that our table that's been loaded into Excel now only has France. Because France was hard coded into the M code in our filter, if we want to select another country, we need to go back into Power Query. And once this is loaded, we can select another country. Let's pick Germany. And we can again see the M codes updated to show the hard-coded value Germany. And when I close and load that, my table will update. And instead of France, we'll see just the values for Germany. So what we want to do is use drill downs to have a cell in Excel that we can change and automatically update this table to another country without having to go into Power Query each time. To do that, I'm going to add some space at the top so I can add another table. The header of this table is going to be country. And for the value of the table, I'm just going to use data validation to create a list of the table of the countries that we have in our table. So that's France, Germany, UK, and USA. Let's make this a table with Ctrl-T. My table has headers and OK. And we're going to call this table filter. And because we've already got Germany in our data set, I'm just going to select Germany. So that's going to be the value in our table. And let's upload this into Power Query. When this loads, we're just going to see that new table with its single value of Germany. And we're going to make that a drill down by right-clicking on it and selecting drill down. And we can see our table is now changed into a drill down. We can now go back to our countries table and change this hard-coded value that was a hard-coded name of a country every time we selected one from the filter here to the name of our drill down, which is filter. And this basically means that from now on, instead of referring to whichever country you manually select here, it will just change the country in our filter to whichever name we have in Excel. So I'm going to close and load to, and I only want to create a connection this time. Once the option shows for how I want to load this in, only create connection. And now when I select a new country from my drop-down list here, if I click UK, I can hit refresh. If I select UK, I can hit refresh. So using drill downs, we now have the option to update the filter on our table from a cell in Excel.